Sunday, the 11th of October, renewed fighting over the Armenia-held Azerbaijani territory of Nagorno-Karabakh, which erupted last month and has killed or displaced thousands of civilians. Regional powers initially failed to intervene or, in the case of Turkey, fanned the flames, while the EU looked on as war engulfed its borders. The humanitarian ceasefire agreed during talks in Moscow on Friday is a first step back from the abyss, but the precedents are not encouraging. The ceasefire agreed in 1994, after a 3-year war over Nagorno-Karabakh, has been repeatedly violated. The latest clashes have involved indiscriminate bombardment of civilian homes, drone strikes and the reported use of cluster munitions. The conflagration has been especially revealing of the extent to which Russia still exerts influence in what post-Soviet leaders like to call the near abroad. Russia's President, Vladimir Putin, who publicly bemoaned the collapse of the Soviet Union, specializes in seeding instability and discord among the Western democracies. Yet in recent weeks he has been forced to watch, largely helpless, as unrest has enveloped Russia's backyard. Turkey's involvement in the Nagorno-Karabakh flare-up has been wholly unhelpful. Rather than mediate between close neighbors, its president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, offered unlimited support to his Azeri allies against Armenia. His reaction reflected ancient ethnic and religious enmities. But it was also in line with his broader policy of expanding Turkey's regional sphere of influence. This policy has led to direct Turkish military involvement in Syria and Libya, and more recently in the Eastern Mediterranean, aimed principally at Turkey's NATO ally Greece. Yet it is also a response to economic troubles and growing political opposition at home. Turkey denies sending mercenaries to Azerbaijan. However, there has been witness reports and video of fighters opening fire on Armenian forces. They are heard speaking with a Syrian dialect. It's clear that Turkey's meddling has undoubtedly raised tensions. Friday, Turkey demanded that all Armenian forces withdraw from Nagorno-Karabakh, a position that could undermine the ceasefire. The complex geopolitical and strategic ramifications of this conflict are far and wide, and it is easy to forget the human impact of the fighting. Michelle Bachelet, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, last week deplored artillery strikes by both sides that killed, injured and terrorized defenseless people. She reminded Armenia and Azerbaijan, and states with influence over parties to the conflict, of their obligation under international humanitarian law to protect civilians.
Azerbaijani authorities claim that 9 civilians were killed and more than 30 others wounded after Armenian forces fired missiles at Ganja, Azerbaijan's second-largest city, and hit a residential building. The city of Mingashevir also came under missile attacks, according to Azerbaijan's Prosecutor General's office. Nagorno-Karabakh's military officials denied attacking Ganja and said the territory's army is observing the ceasefire. They added that during the night Azerbaijani forces shelled Stepanakert, the region's capital, and other towns in violation of the truce. There have been reports of fresh fighting between Armenia and Azerbaijan, just hours after a ceasefire came into force. Blasts hit Stepanakert, the capital of disputed region Nagorno-Karabakh, on Saturday evening, say eyewitnesses and Armenian media. Both sides have previously accused the other of continuing bombardments. After 2 weeks of fighting, the two countries agreed to a temporary truce during talks in Moscow on Friday. The leader of the Nagorno-Karabakh region, Arayik Harutyunyan, told AFP news agency the situation was calmer on Sunday but warned the truce was precarious. Azerbaijan claimed a residential apartment block in Azerbaijan's city of Ganja was destroyed overnight in what was an Armenian missile strike. Azerbaijani officials say 7 people were killed and dozens injured. Armenia has called reports of the strike an absolute lie. Armenia's defense ministry claimed Azeri forces had launched an attack 5 minutes after the truce had been due to come into effect, with ethnic Armenian forces responding. Azeri forces were also bombarding a town, the defense ministry said. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's defense ministry said Armenia was blatantly violating the ceasefire regime and firing into the Azeri regions of Terter and Agdam. Armenia denied this. There was also intense fighting ahead of the ceasefire. The self-declared ethnic Armenian authorities in Nagorno-Karabakh said Azerbaijan fired missiles at civilian neighborhoods of the main city, Stepanakert, while Armenia accused Azeri forces of intensifying drone strikes.
Subscribe to the channel for our latest videos and updates.